5 reasons why Macs are less likely to get malware than Windows. The common wisdom states that Macs aren't as susceptible to viruses as Windows PCs are. But why is this? Exactly. Of course, no system is flawless when it comes to security. It's possible to get malware on a Mac just like any other computer. And while user habits definitely play a role, you'll be glad to know your Mac is naturally protected from most threats. Let's look at the ways macOS is built to resist viruses and other malware. We often use the terms malware and virus interchangeably, but they refer to different types of attacks. A proper computer virus damages your software by slowing it down, filling up the hard drive, or deleting important files. Viruses are hard to get rid of because they replicate themselves inside your operating system. These days, most computers do a pretty good job of protecting against traditional viruses. But there are hosts of other software threats lurking in the shadows. The term malware refers to any malicious software, including, you might have heard the claim that viruses don't affect Macs. This isn't true, as Macs can certainly get viruses. If your Mac is acting weird, it could be infected with a virus. How can you check for a virus on your Mac? We'll show you. But we've all come across someone who's used a Mac without antivirus software for years and never had a problem. You'll struggle to find the same story from a Windows user. There are a lot of factors at play here. Windows has made tremendous progress in terms of security in recent years. But macOS still benefits from unique advantages that make it less likely to get malware in the first place. When Microsoft developed Windows, it built the OS upon its own unique software platform called MS-DOS. In contrast, Apple developed macOS, or Mac OS X at the time, using Unix, an open-source platform that had already been in use for years. Unix is renowned for its stability and security features, many of which aren't present in MS-DOS. Windows hasn't used MS-DOS as its basis since Windows XP. But many parts of its security and architecture today are left over from those old days. Meanwhile, Unix is open source and has been used by a range of different companies in the development of macOS, Linux, the PlayStation 4, and even the firmware for gadgets like your router. There are lots of people looking to fix vulnerabilities in Unix so they can make their own products more secure. Your Mac benefits from this group effort. Whereas Windows PCs are solely dependent on Microsoft's architecture. If you've ever downloaded an app from outside the Mac App Store, you may have discovered you can't open it after the download completes. This is due to a macOS security feature called Gatekeeper. When you download new apps, Gatekeeper quarantines them and uses Xprotect to scan the code for malware. If it finds any, Gatekeeper alerts you of the risk and doesn't let you open the app. You can bypass Gatekeeper by holding Control and clicking an app, but you run the risk of infecting your Mac. Malware can definitely affect Mac devices. Avoid making these mistakes or else you'll end up getting your Mac infected. Even if the Xprotect scan comes back clean, Gatekeeper might reject your app if it doesn't trust the developer. By default, your Mac only lets you install apps from the Mac App Store or identified developers. This allows apps like Dropbox, Evernote, or Microsoft Office while blocking lesser-known developers. This is an example of Apple's infamous walled garden approach. macOS makes use of sandboxing to limit what apps can do. This is the practice of a software provider putting up virtual barriers around third-party apps to keep them from accessing other apps or system files on your machine. It's one of the reasons a Mac is less flexible than a Windows PC. But these restrictions come with the payoff of tightened security. Third-party applications have limited access to core system files, making it difficult for malware to cause serious damage if it gets past Gatekeeper. Since macOS Catalina, Mac apps need to request permission for each part of the system they want to access. This includes categories like files and folders, screen recording, camera, photos, and more. Go to System Preferences greater than Security and Privacy greater than Privacy to see what is and isn't allowed. You can revoke access for anything you're unsure about. The OS hides important system files on your Mac so you can't accidentally damage or move them. but it also guards important files behind a hidden defense called System Integrity Protection, SIP. SIP, present on OS XL Capitan and newer, stops you or anyone else from editing the system files on your Mac, which are often a prime target for malware. This makes it trickier for malware to infiltrate your operating system and compromise the security or performance of your Mac. Just like Gatekeeper, you can bypass SIP if you need to, but most reputable developers design their apps to work alongside SIP, so you shouldn't need to. See our full explanation on System Integrity Protection. What is System Integrity Protection on your Mac? We explain what SIP does and how it affects macOS software.